Hello, Geeks and Gamers. Matt Lemke here with your gamer goggles, gamer-goggles.com. We're at Origins Game Fair with Twinfire Productions, and we have Will and... Oops. Yeah, I did it, right? Will and Nino. I thought I pointed to you first. And they're going to talk about their new storytelling board game, which is got some interesting, unique twists in it.
Hi, we're here at Origins. As Matt said, thanks for being with us, Matt. We're having a great time. We're showing off our new board game, Folklore the Affliction. You can see the Arcanist behind us here, and she's one of the iconic characters that you can play in a horror storytelling board game that's going to knock your socks off. It's a lot of fun.
It's very immersive stories, incredible characters. There's a bunch of adventure locations like the graveyard and tombs and castles and manors and forests and underneath the earth. So very exciting. You play these iconic characters and you go through these stories and they grow with you with the stories and you can play them over and over again. 100% cooperative.
You build your character and you take them from, as Will said, story to story, and it's almost like a role-playing game in that aspect. And we have almost 100 abilities that you can use to standardize your character and build them the way you want.
Yeah, as you defeat the supernatural characters that are out there, like witches and spirits and so forth, you gain lore and knowledge to learn these new abilities.
Guess what? You can be a ghost too. When you die in Folklore, you're not dead. You're not out of the game. You actually become a ghost, and you fight the evil from the supernatural side as well.
I like that.
Exciting. Yes.
I like that. That's a cool idea. I like games where you don't die and just like eliminate it. It's different, like if it's a miniatures game or something like that. But,
Sure.
Well, it's always sucks to be knocked out.
We want you to be, to be attached to the characters that you play, so that you keep wanting to play them over and over again. A lot of customization in terms of the characters themselves, a lot of randomization. As you said, it's 100% cooperative, which is really unique to this type of board game.
The game's a quick startup. What we wanted to make was the game that we always wanted to play, and I think we've definitely achieved that, and we're having a great time with it ourselves. Even after 5 years of development, we still want to sit down and play our game. We're having great feedback from the gamers as well. They're having a good time.
So I have heard your name before. I know I've heard of Twinfire Productions from somewhere else. I just couldn't place it.
Yep.
But going back to what you were saying, does that mean that you can play this in a campaign-style setting where, so you become a ghost, you can use that ghost in another session?
Certainly, although ghosts aren't as effective as if you're alive, but it still allows you to play and interact at the field. Now, you have to be careful as a ghost because you're not safe from the enemies that you may face. For example, spiritual creatures, those that are ethereal, can still hurt you. And if you get hurt enough, you go into limbo and have to be resurrected by the gypsies, in which you have to pay with a tarot card. By drawing a tarot card, which stays with your character, it provides a negative effect, which you then would have to try to get rid of via exploration.
Now, there is some bonuses in some fashions to be in ghost form, especially a character like the Arcanist here, or even the Telepath, who actually has more augmented powers and abilities that they can use and build their character with, so that if they do enter the afterlife, they can actually be quite powerful.
What are the basic game mechanics?
Basic game mechanics are, you start on a world map, and the storybook tells you where to start and what kind of story you're going through. There's 3 levels of engagement or difficulty. It starts at dusk, goes to twilight, and then the most deepest and difficult adventures are in midnight. And so at that point, you have various adventures you can play. We absolutely have the greatest time writing these stories and playing them too.
And we want it to be an open system and make the gamers part of the process. So we'll have writing contests that players can submit their stories and get potentially published as in blog out there, so that you can post them on the forums and things like that. So we wanted to build a strong community around the game.
You form a group of 1 to 4 characters, and so what you're going to do is go into old school Eastern Europe around the late 1700s, and you've got a mission. Your mission is to track down the evil things, the afflictions. And so in the game there's lots of creatures, but the nastiest, the toughest to kill are named, and they're very unique, and those are called the afflictions. So that's why we call this Folklore the Affliction, because it's afflicting the land with all kinds of different evils. We have spiritual foes, we have nature foes, shapeshifters, we have demonic, mortals, undead, and even occultists.
And that's what's pictured on your logo there.
Exactly. There's a logo there. There's actually one in the box here. It's a little bit farther back, but we have this medallion here that we really love. It's sort of our iconic logo at this point. That's giving everyone a clear shot of all the creatures that you can face.
And it's got minis, it's got dice, it's got cards, and you're going to see all that. I'm going to get some cool photos, some gameplay while I'm here. Gosh, what else do you want to share? I mean, I know the Kickstarter's starting in October.
It's just a unique game. It's a lot of fun. Even if you play the same adventure over again, it's not going to be the same experience because there's quite a bit of randomization. Even at cruxes in the storyline, even though there is a storyline that you play through, there are cruxes where you might make a decision or you might fail a check, and that actually gets recorded in a very, very interesting way. So that later in the story, other things could happen based on what you chose, but you're not yet aware of what it could do.
Yeah, it could be good or bad. You don't know. Yeah.
So it's never the same game twice, so to speak.
Well, that's good. We need more of that in general.
Well, we would love people to visit our website, as Nino said, folklore.theaffliction.com. Visit us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Game Board Geek out there.
Board Game Geek.
Yes.
And Board Game Geek is awesome. We just got up on there, and we're uploading our pictures and some of our minis and so on. So get on there, like us. If you like what you see, email us if you have any questions. And if you're interested in writing a story, let us know.
Fantastic.
They're definitely an interesting group of guys and easy to talk to. So I encourage it. What's the base set going to include? Let's look at that. Or what are your plans for the base set? Because this is still the prototype phase, right?
It is a prototype phase. Most of our artwork is already complete, and we just love it. It's stopping a lot of people at the show here. We've already done that, so. We brought ourselves to the point where what we're going to be showing on Kickstarter and what you've seen here at the show already is really kind of a top-notch product. We have a team of artists, designers, and sculptors and so on that are, just bringing the best of what they got to make this game awesome, and we're loving that. The game's going to include 6 main characters with the 6 minis, and we'll have some choice creatures in there. It comes with boards that you play on, but the game board itself is sort of a world map, and you travel with your group through the world map, and once you get to where you're going, or where your focal point is, it zooms in, and so now you're going through more of a dungeon route, but it's horror. Now, it's not fantasy, but it has interesting things like the mystical and the magical and so on, but really it's more realistic, sort of a gritty classical horror feel to it.
Yeah, so for example, one of the more mystical aspects is you can find rituals. They're rare, very powerful incantations from the Book of the Dead. And these characters can attempt to cast those using their skills with the cult.
Yeah, most of the characters are very black and white in some ways, like the Exorcist. Well, we all know what an exorcist is here to do. And it's interesting because you can get possessed in the game, but he's immune to that. One of our fringe characters is right here behind us, the Arcanist. She's a hero, and she's a good person, but really her interests are about the occult, and she wants to learn as much as she can about it. Sometimes she may go into the gray area and cross the line and have some abilities that she can acquire that are kind of like a white magic.
Yeah. Know your enemy to defeat it.
Okay. She's a Batman.
You can say that. One of my favorite characters is the Avenging Madman, though. Incredible character.
Yeah, real favorite.
So his family was he was a farmer. His family was slaughtered by vampires, and he's gone, deranged in terms of his revenge-driven madness. So he's just he can't use ranged weapons because he just has to get in there and rip things apart. Literally, he has abilities like Chomper, where he bites into his victims, and if an enemy is killed next to him, he can rip off a limb and bash another enemy.
That's my kind of guy.
Incredible guy.
Yeah, he's out of control.
Yeah.
Really, he's one of our favorites. Once someone plays him, they have a hard time really wanting to play anybody else sometimes because he's just so much fun. He's totally insane.
It's balanced, though.
It's definitely balanced. What we have is these backstories that are more than just backstories. We actually created this world as a world. It's more than a board game. It always was, which we're finding very interesting. We have some famous authors who are now getting very interested in this world and are starting to write for us. So we're very excited about that. Yeah.
So that means the success of the Kickstarter will bring forth expansions. And
Yeah.
Have you thought about those yet? Or are they going to leave Europe?
One
They're gonna
expansion,
stay there?
potentially, can't say names now, but will potentially include story arcs by certain authors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well-known authors.
We built the game from the ground up, starting 5 years ago, with the expansions already built. So really, when we talk about whether we're planning to, we've actually been planning that from the beginning. We wanted this game to be as expandable as possible. Yes. Yeah, no backward compatibility issues, which is always a problem. In fact, all of our games in our lineup in the future are built from scratch or from the baseline with the expansions already understood as part of that core building process.
Okay. I think that pretty much covers it.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks
Really
for your
appreciate
time.
it.
I appreciate it. It's always good
It's
to
awesome.
to meet new people and expand and learn about the new things in the industry.
Yeah, we're just super excited.
That's
about
why I
this
do
project.
it. I can tell you're passionate about it. And we need more of that. We don't need people. Oh, it's Origins again. You know, we don't need that. We need the people who are always excited about it.
And we've got great feedback from some of the other industry folks out there, some other game companies coming by and saying, "Looks great," you know. So and we've had
And that's
more
always
test-
encouraging.
Yeah. So
And
so
they
that's
sat down and
it
demoed.
tells us
Get
we're on the
rolling.
right track because we love it, and people we've played tested so far, which has been a lot, have seemed to really enjoy it. But you know, it's other game companies come by and say, "Hey, this looks great."
Yeah, they sit down and they'll play with us. In fact, we did demos all night for a few nights in a row after hours with industry folks who, you know, they're pros. They make their own games, but they're really kind of getting a twinkle in their eye when they're playing this, and they really like it. And they want to play it again. So we love
And that's
that.
good.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for watching. Check out their Kickstarter. Check us out at gamer-goggles.com. Find them on Facebook. Check out their website. I'm sure there's going to be tons of updates coming. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.